from the writers and directors of the Lego Movie. "22 Jump Street" was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, stars Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. The follow-up to 21 Jump Street, which follows Schmidt and Janko, I think it is, sorry, as they now move on to college to do another, just like in the first one. That was not a mean joke, that was a reference, but never mind. In college. 21 Jump Street, when it first came out, actually surprised a lot of people with how funny it was, myself included, and even when a sequel was announced, people were kind of like, that doesn't sound necessary, myself included. And when it did come out, wow. As much as sequels usually don't improve, sometimes don't even compare to the original, this one surpassed 21 Jump Street, no contest. Is this probably the funniest sequel that I've ever seen in my life. The thing that really makes this movie work is the chemistry between Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. They work flawlessly together. Jonah Hill giving one of his best performances, and Channing Tatum, even though he doesn't really do comedy that often, he also is fantastic, especially considering he's playing such a dumb character, but you still feel for him, and even though he's ridiculously dumb, he somehow seems competent. And then Jonah Hill's character is also very, very funny. He's probably the funnier of the two because it's Jonah Hill and he's just hilarious. And every single thing he does, every look, every line comes off perfectly, and it's so well done. But the real thing to thank for this movie is the script. Now, a lot of comedies these days are heavy on improvisation, and there was clearly a little bit in this movie, but more often than not, the movies that are hilarious are the ones that have tight scripts that clearly have jokes, referencing the past things, setting up while still telling a joke. So you tell a joke now, set up something without people even realizing, and then later there's another joke. And that movie does this perfectly. The script is really, really tight, and it works perfectly. One of the best things about the humor in this movie was that it was always kind of meta. It always made it seem like, oh, we're clearly talking about the movie, but at the same time, it never really broke the fourth wall. It never looked at the camera and said oh, isn't this weird? But it was always kind of oh, like I said in my near the beginning, how the joke was that it's exactly the same as the first one. That's a running joke. The police detective is the reason it didn't work is because you weren't doing exactly the same thing. We need to do exactly the same thing. And there's a lot of jokes about the higher budget and how it really wasn't necessary. It is absolutely hilarious. Everything about this movie came together so well. If you liked the first movie, then you'll love this. Even if you didn't see the first movie, I went with someone who hadn't seen it and she enjoyed it. But like I said, really, really great comedy. One of the better ones in years. Definitely worth checking out. I give 22 Jump Street an A-. Definitely go see it, and it features one of the funniest credit scenes of all time, maybe even the funniest. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.